Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Dan's Models. Well, I think this is Dan's Models, but I feel like I'm lost, Dan, because this is not a 1950s era boxcar.
Yeah, it's something else, huh?
Yeah. Was this a 1950s era at least?
No.
Oh.
This is...
Does that mean we're all...
Well, it's a Western Pacific SW1500, and I think these were built in the early 70s, if I'm not mistaken, but possibly 60s, but I'm not...
Does that mean we're done with the 50s stuff?
Well, for now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I got so used to that, I feel like I'm... like I've lost a friend or something.
Yeah. This is an Athearn HO scale SW1500 that I've modified a bit, and I put a DCC and sound in it. I think I might have had this engine on the podcast a long time ago, the video podcast.
Okay.
Since then, I've changed the decoder. I originally had a Loc-Sound 3.5 in it, and actually just this morning, I put a Loc-Sound Select in it.
Your favorite?
Yeah, it sounds a lot better. ESU must have recently released a new sound set for these things.
Yeah.
Because I loaded it and I was pretty impressed with it, actually.
Well, we'll get to hear that before this is over, so...
Yeah.
I see some lights.
Yeah, so the headlight, obviously you can control that. And also the class lights.
Uh-huh. What about the numbers?
No, those don't light up on this one.
No number boards?
No number boards, no.
Dan,
well,
you're slipping.
I did this one a long time ago, actually.
Oh. Is it hard to make the number
board? It's pretty tight in there. It'd be difficult to make everything fit.
Mm-hmm. You could do it, though, I'm sure.
Yeah, it could be done. It could be done. It would just take a little more work.
That's something you haven't shied away from in the past.
No, I know. I just didn't do it with this engine. So, and this is the other end.
Yeah, that also looks cool. Is it the same thing, the headlights and the... What are those, class lights?
Yeah, class lights or marker lights. They don't come up in different colors like real class lights.
Is there a difference between a class light and a marker light?
Well, class lights were used for back in the days when they used to have timetable operation, and they, the different colors meant things. They used to use flags in the daytime too, and then they had the lights. But I think white or amber was an extra, and green was a following section of a scheduled train. Something like that. I don't know.
It's funny, they had codes for all that stuff, and semaphores too, right?
Yeah.
Meant different things whatever positions they were in.
Yeah. But anyway, marker lights, I think, are just basically, they don't necessarily mean something. They just kind of show where the thing is. Although somebody probably has a better explanation than that.
Fire up those hate emails.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll get a... Anyway, I don't remember off the top of my head what the technical explanation is, but in any case, they work. So I did a lot of work on the pilots on this engine because it came with footboards.
Oh, right, but they don't use those, right?
Yeah,
and haven't for a while.
And or if it didn't have footboards, it had beams on the pilot. I remember though that I had to take a bunch of stuff off and then pretty much strip the whole pilot down, repaint it green, redecal it, and then put on new details.
What a pain.
Yeah.
So and you're saying that putting those extra lights in for the number boards would have been a problem? Shoot, if you're doing that much to it.
Yeah, well, I put in all the hoses and uncoupling levers, and I changed the couplers to Katie scale couplers, and did a bunch of work to that. But I do remember having to repaint it because of all the stuff that I'd taken off. It just got so messed up looking. Plus the stripes weren't quite in the right places, if I recall. Oh. Comparing it to photographs.
But they are now, though, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Figured they would be.
So I used a microscale decal sheet for those. It was a factory painted model, so I didn't have to paint the whole thing, but I did have to redo that piece.
Did you just touch it up in the areas that you worked on?
Yeah, I pretty much just repainted the entire front pilot face, and the same thing on the other end. Both ends are the same, but kind of that whole flat area there.
Is that a drop step? Does it come down?
I don't think they move on this engine.
Yeah.
But it would on the real thing, yeah. So another thing I did to this one is to install the Canon walkway tread kit and steps. The kit comes with the step wells. the steps for the step wells and the walkway tread.
Yeah, I remember you putting a kit like that into, I think it was an SP unit that was on the weathering and detailing diesel
that was a
locomotives.
tunnel motor. Canon has kits for a bunch of different kinds of engines.
Yeah.
So they make one for the Athearn SW1500s also.
Do you know that the diamond plate on locomotives like this is one of those very subtle things that if you just showed me the model, I wouldn't see it. But if you showed me one of these next to one that didn't have it, you would just be like, oh yeah, that looks way better.
Yeah.
It's one of those really subtle details.
It does make a difference.
Yeah.
I think it's worth doing.
Oh yeah. I mean, it looks real, you know?
Yeah. So, didn't add too much other detail to this one. It was WP units were a lot more basic than the SP engines. They didn't have the
lights were for sure.
Lights and the extra number boards and things like that. I did a few other things too, like I put brake lines on the trucks and some things like that. But other than the walkway tread and redoing the pilots, it's pretty much as it came out of the box. Gave it a little bit of a light weathering job, not too much.
Yeah, it looks fairly weathered.
Yeah, I didn't want it to look too decrepit though. I was looking at photos of how it would have looked probably when it was still being used.
Seeing quite a bit of rust over the cab.
Yeah, on the roof. Yeah.
And of course, we need to see the cab end.
Yeah, this is one of the newer Athearn releases too that has a cab interior.
Yeah, I noticed that. You can see it in there.
Yeah.
Looks neat.
It also has a photo etched grill over the radiator section. Because I built I haven't had that one on Dan's models yet either. But I have an SP one, but it's one of the old Athearn Blue Box units. Uh-huh. And I actually had to fabricate a cab interior for that one because it didn't come with it.
Is that the one with the two guys in it?
I think I might have put some guys in it. Yeah, I don't remember.
Because I think that... Is it SW1500?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that one appeared on our very first ever video podcast.
Yeah.
Or something back in 2011.
Yeah.
So I remember because I was making a joke. We were taping up at your house, and there was some shot where it was going away, and I was making a joke about the two guys in it being us.
Yeah.
So
anyway.
Yeah, this looks really cool. It's weird, you think of a little switcher like this and you think, oh, it's just a simple little engine, but it has a lot of little things on it that when they're there, it makes it look really neat.
Yeah.
All right, well, we got to see this thing run.
Yeah. So I'll start up the sound here. I set it up with a Nathan M5 horn sound. The Loc Sound Select gives you a bunch of choices, but I'm pretty sure that's what this one had. If there's some WP expert out there who wants to contradict me or correct me, that's fine. You can leave a comment. But I know it's a 5-chime anyway. So anyway, start it going here.
Well, you were right. It does sound nice.
Yeah, they did a good job with this sound set. I really like the way it notches automatically as it's going along.
Yeah, it sounds like a real switcher.
Yeah, they even have something they call a prototype mode, where it will actually wait to start notching until after it's moved a little bit. So I haven't played with that too much, but there's like 2 different prime mover modes you can use, which is kind of cool. You just change that by setting a CV, same way you change the horn sound by setting a CV.
Yeah.
And it's got a, right under the radiator area, there's a 16 by 25 millimeter 4-ohm speaker.
That's pretty big. That's probably why it sounds good.
Yeah, it's a fairly, it's not that big, but it's
Well, it fills the whole radiator section.
It does. Yeah. There was enough room in there for that, and in a custom made enclosure.
That helps too.
Yeah,
the way you isolate or close it off, seal it.
right, and it's all sealed with RTV silicone stuff.
Yeah.
And the decoder itself is kind of right around here.
Right.
So mounted to the top here, and then there's plenty of clearance in there for the motor and everything. So
yeah, it looks good. It sounds good. I mean, everything. It's nice.
yeah, so it's I like it a lot better with this new decoder in it. I think it sounds a lot better. The old one, it didn't have a lot of volume.
Yeah.
And the Select just works so much nicer than the older Loc sounds. I mean, they were good decoders as far as moving the engine, but the sounds are much better with the Select.
Yeah. Well, that's at least 40% of your decoder right there. You want to have it sound good too.
Right. So
All
you
right.
kind of get it all with this one.
Yeah, right on. Another good model, and yeah, I guess we'll see another good model next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.